The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I'm your host, Tim, certified sex educator, your local chaotic homosexual, and Emily, Amelia, Amanda,
EMANDA.
Guess what this is right now.
Is it a very special day?
Here at Sex Ed with Tim, we have reached, drumroll please, 100 episodes! Yes, we are toxic and everyone is addicted to us.
Yes, the taste of my podcast lips. My pussy lips, question mark?
Oh God, no. I slurped all the way and upchucked something.
Tim is actively choking on a dick while we record, actually.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Mm-mm. No, not really.
Oh no. Checking in is unwell.
Yeah, when have I ever been good? Never.
Hi.
How are you?
Happy now that I'm with my wifey, my podcast wifey.
I am your wifey, and thank you so
true.
much for promoting my shit, like the good wife that you are, fulfilling your wifely duties.
I am a submissive woman submitting to my. Wait, we're a gay couple? I don't know. What are the gender norms here that we're subverting?
I know. Let's support some good gender norms today. You are the submissive wifey, and I am the service top wifey.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I consent to this dynamic.
I don't. I can't.
You're kind of into consensual non-consent though, right? So.
Yes. No, please, no. Oh God, I hate that kind of child talk.
Baby talk.
I understand. Yeah, I'm not gonna knock anyone for getting into that. However, I have gotten over using the word play for sex. Let's play. I'm
fair.
No, not for me.
I don't mind it in the educator to educator podcast, we're talking about impact play or when I set up a play scene or whatever. But yeah, no, if my partner comes to me and is like, are you ready to play? I'll be like, no. I want to fuck. Don't know.
Why did you say that? You said that like a Muppet, like the Swedish chef. No.
I am a Muppet. Yeah, my current kink is Muppet play.
You're like the Swedish chef.
I think it's because that meme on Instagram that's been going around. By the time this comes out, we'll see if it's still going on. But it's like, oh, she's wonderful girl. Could she be any cuter? You know that meme I'm talking about? Have you seen it?
Not really. The listeners, but I'll take your word for it.
The listeners have seen it. The listeners. There's no way. Unless I'm in a weird hole on the social media, which is possible. Could she be any cuter?
For the longest time, I've been thinking of what to call my listeners other than just listeners, and I think I'm going to settle on chlamydiates.
For some reason, my brain went the Tiny Tims. Because listeners are small, because they exist in our technology devices. They're fake.
And then in real life, they're ironically huge.
Yeah, well oversized people.
Jacked and just massive lumbering giants, 7-8 feet.
the Timinions.
Timinions? I like Timinions.
Or the chlamydiates. The chlamydiates has a ring to it. It aligns with your brand.
I think so, because Timinian feels very like narcissistic and like it rubs my ego, which I don't mind because you know I love my ego the way I like my dick rubbed.
I was gonna say
roughly.
like your hand jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. But chlamydia feels very apropos because we're all learning. So we're all kind of like dumb in our own way. And we keep coming back to learn, just like how chlamydia keeps making a comeback, at least in my sex life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like the Toronto chlamydia scene might be doozy.
The chlamydia the chlamydia era. As we're entering it.
The chlamydiocracy.
The chlamydiocracy. Yes.
That's your empire.
Feliz chlamydiotas.
Fuck. Viva la vida chlamydia.
Viva la chlamydia.
Viva la chlamydia.
Long live in chlamydia.
Long liveth thy chlamydia.
Yeah. Well, it is 100 episodes, everybody, and I would not want to spend it with anyone else other than my podcast wifey, M from Sexistentialist, who is just rocking the cozy girl, like, what is this? Yeah, the cozy...
grunge. It's sort of a grunge. I'm giving grunge right now. So my furnace is broken. And I live in the Midwest in the United States, and it's it's fucking cold, and my hair looks gross. So I'm wearing a beanie while I record a podcast. Kill me, you know.
It's cute. And what does it say on your shirt? There's like a penguin or something on it. What is that? Oh, it's a duck. Oh, it says
it's a goose holding a knife, and it says peace was never an option. Someone gave it to me last Christmas, and they were like, "This seems like you."
It's so on brand to the Sexistentialist like aesthetic.
Peace was never an option.
I love that. I think, is that based on the Untitled Goose Game? I think it is.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the goosey memes.
I love that. There's this game I downloaded called Tingus Goose. It is, I'm not even joking, it's one of the most fascinating games where you play as this like pregnant lady and her husband, and then a goose flies right above her and lays an egg on top of her belly, and then the belly ingests the egg, and then out of her belly comes like this goose neck, and then it just gets longer and longer and longer, and you have to make the neck as long as possible, and then out of the goose neck is just like little babies that come out, and then you kind of just like tap them and it creates cash. And then the more cash you make, the longer the neck grows.
Is this a real game or is this a fever dream that you had?
This is a little bit of both.
Is it a mobile game?
Yes, it is a mobile. Tingus, Tingus, Tingus Goose. And I was like, wow, this is the most accurate representation of the human gestation period I have ever seen.
Oh, I like the art style, actually.
Yeah, it's very like on this.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. It's sketchy and like literally sketchy. It looks like just sketches.
Yeah, it's 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's fun. It's one of those like, what do you call it? Those games that you just let and like you can leave it alone and then it grows. I forgot.
Passive
Idle
gaming.
games.
Oh, idle games, yeah.
Yes, those ones. Yeah. So very fun. And I have been killing a lot of time with that, just watching my goose neck grow and grow and grow.
I love it. It's like Farmville, but not at all like Farmville, really.
Yeah, it's nothing at all like Farmville, but exactly like Farmville.
Yep. You're welcome.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah, like most things, you know, like most things in life, it's like something else, and also not.
Yeah, like how spaghetti is just like rice, but it isn't.
Wow, that's kind of hitting. Yeah. That's hitting.
It's kind of. We're getting to a philosophical kind of thing.
Yeah, now. That's slapping. Yeah.
The philosophy is philosophing.
Oh, yeah, it's hitting me.
Oh, God. Wait, I forgot to open with a joke, although I am a joke.
Yeah, I mean, we need that.
Yeah. I'm okay. Let me think of a joke right now. Give my brain a second. As you can tell, I am not prepared. I'm not preparing at all for this season, so I'm just gonna let it fly. So let me think of one.
We love when you're just being you.
And just being me. Oh, I wish that I was like you all when you love being. I mean, I love being me, but I also I hate being me. So it's like the same, but not.
Retweet.
Okay, real quick joke. I used to date an English teacher. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to date an English teacher, but they dumped me for the improper use of the colon.
My mouth is ajar. Listening to my mouth is ajar.
It's a gape.
God, that was good. God, I didn't know where it was going. I feel like you were pretending to think of one, but I feel like maybe you had that one ready.
No, I was thinking of one.
And you just pulled that out of your ass.
My asshole. Yeah.
Wow. That's a sacred place, your ass. That is a sacred giving place.
But it's also not. It's also not because it's been disrespected so many times.
Yeah, that's fair. I can imagine that.
It's not holy in this loosest sense. Oh wow, there's so many. There was like 2 innuendos in it.
Truly pun upon pun. Punception.
It was not holy in the loosest sense of the word. SNL, put me on your team.
Yeah, I say I can and do picture what people do to your asshole. So that's my favorite pastime.
It's a loose hole.
I was thinking about Tim getting fucked.
Your favorite pastime is to just think about my asshole?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I said, and I'm not taking it back. I've said that on the internet now. That's in there. My partner's listening, like, what? What's up?
Hi, Joe. Anne's thinking about my asshole, Joe.
He's probably like, yeah, sounds all right.
Yeah,
Classic.
I'm also thinking about your asshole, Joe. If it's any consolation.
Yeah, I'll let him know that. I mean, I'm also thinking about his asshole now. So, all right, it is a gift. You know, assholes are.
It's a gift. Yeah, everyone has one.
So true. Yeah, it's the one thing that unifies us as a culture.
Yeah, that we all have an asshole. You can forget about war. You can forget about famine and global warming and animal rights. The only thing that you need to remember is that we are all unified in the sense that we all have an asshole. If we could
just embrace this one thing, then we could fix everything.
Heal the world. Make it a better place.
Oh.
Oh, God. But BUTT, how has been your 2023, Em?
It's such a good question. Lots of highs and lots of lows. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. 2023 blew by. I feel like I blinked and it was gone. But I mean, like, I'm happy for the most part. I mean, I'm mentally unwell to an extent. So, you know, pretty happy. Physically healthy, which is important. And, you know, it's been a great year in a lot of ways. You know, I took quite a bit of a lax approach to my show at the start of this year. You know, Joe and I have been together for a long time, but we threw a big wedding party because we hadn't had the chance to do that previously. And so we had been previously legally bound to each other, but because of COVID and because he's obviously, for those of you who maybe
you were each other's legal property.
Yes, of course, him more mine than the other way around, obviously. But yeah, because of COVID and because my partner's from the UK, we hadn't had family to celebrate our union, so we had a big party. Well, not big party. We had a party. So some people from the UK could come over and hang out with my family, and that was cool and very expensive. But leading up to that, took kind of some time off of the show, so kept a pretty lax start of the year. But then really kind of amping up for season 4. So have been doing a lot of recording with some really incredible people, and excited for you know, our 4th season as well to come out next year. And
look at us, the season 4
I know,
girlies.
it's crazy, right? I feel like we're adults. Like, when did we hit puberty along the way?
God.
I know.
I turn 31 in a few days.
I know.
Ew. I've actually entered daddy era.
I mean, this is gay culture, right? Like, if you would just be straight, Tim, then you'd have years before daddy.
Oh, God. If I had a switch in the back of my brain that could just be like hetero and homo, I would, you know? Because sexuality is a choice.
Exactly.
Right?
It is a choice.
I could just choose to be straight. That one episode of American Dad where Steve was forcing himself to be gay. He's like, no, I am gay. I choose to be gay. And then the gay guy is like, Steve, it's not a choice.
Me as
like,
a queer teenager, like dating boys, but then like looking at the girls I was obsessed with in my history class or whatever and being like, God, I wish I could just flip that old switch and just go that ways. And in hindsight, it's like, well, you could have tried. You might have you would have liked it, but hard to. God, as a teenager, I would not have known how to gauge whether or not a woman was into me. I still don't know.
I would not know how to. I would not know how to gauge or like interact with any teenagers.
I don't know how I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about my first orgasm with a partner when I was a teenager. And I was like, God, what? That's so weird that ever happened. Like being sexual at that age, baffling. It happened and it happens. People do that. And also experiencing any amount of pleasure with another human being at the age of like 14 or 15. Ugh.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
I mean, what? We were doing stuff? What?
Whose hands were in my pants?
Yeah.
My own. We're also in my pants, but yeah.
Do you remember who he was with?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? Were they good?
He was really sweet. He was like the last nice boy I dated before I met Joe. I dated a series of really not nice men. And
as have I, as I continue to do so.
I'm a simp for abuse. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm in therapy. But yeah, no, I dated this boy.
Denial is a river in Egypt.
Fuck. I dated this guy when I was a freshman in high school, and he was a sophomore, and he was really sweet. My favorite thing about him in hindsight, well, two things actually. This guy was kind of a king, like high key, my great white buffalo. No, I'm kidding. So like one time
your Moby Dick?
he was fingering me, but he was like kneeling down. I was sitting on the couch and he was like kneeling down before the couch. And
okay, so you're cleaning.
Yeah, so he was like face to face. But he wasn't eating me out because it was like pretty early. Like we were each other's first, not kiss, but like first hand and mouth stuff. So it was like
he was staring into the eye of Sauron.
He was like eye contact, finger. He was dirty DJing and making eye contact.
DJ Hero.
And I couldn't see like him fully, obviously, because of how I was sitting. But then he just whipped out his electric toothbrush and put it against my clit. And at the time, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? No, like, absolutely not. But in hindsight, I'm like, oh my God, what a giver. Like, the man was like, I don't have a vibrator. But I've seen on the internet that this would be. And so he brought his electric toothbrush to pleasure me. That's
so generous of him. Wow.
You know what? I hope he's so happy right now. What a giver.
I hope he is. Yeah. I hope he's doing well because he's out here pleasuring pussies and like cleaning vaginal teeth. Like how
100%. He was brushing. Yeah, he didn't go the bristle
teeth in your
first.
Vagina.
So let's just be clear. He put handle to clit. Oh, okay. He did not bristle my clit, but he did. He was like, how do I can't buy a vibrator. I'm 15. My parents will notice. What do I bring?
So buy a toothbrush.
What do I bring to the table? Yeah. So that was
good for him.
Yeah, that was, and then it was downhill from there for a really long time.
Downhill. Oh,
up until Joe. Yeah.
Aw, yay. I have never tried an electric toothbrush on any of my parts before. Can you tell me how it feels?
God, it's such a blur. That was many, many, many moons ago. I think I can tell you what a vibrator feels like. That's but
wow.
Yeah, I mean,
really?
An electric toothbrush, I think it just felt like a weak vibrator. But I think honestly in the moment I was so appalled. I didn't have a ton of shame around sex at that time. I mean, I did a little bit like everyone else did. I think I actually developed more shame later. But I think at the time I was just so like, you really don't need to do that. Like what's up? Like I think in my mind it's because it wasn't a device designed for sex. But to be fair, like
for pleasure.
Yeah. I mean tooth pleasure, I guess.
Fair.
But I didn't buy a vibrator until I was 21 or 22 because I'd had a lot of partners who were like, don't replace me. It's like, this is a straight man.
Did you like your vibrator?
I love every vibrator.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a toy queen.
You don't have a favorite? Okay, fair. You did say that on the last season premiere where you wanted to incorporate your toys in Tantra.
Yes.
How's that going for you in 2023?
It's been really good, actually. I've definitely added some more toys to my situation. I've gotten some like really ergonomic toys. I've gotten some toys that are designed for my partner that are new as opposed to me. And I've definitely been playing around more with Tantra. I think not as much as I probably thought I was going to at the start of the year.
I love that. Toys and spirituality. You kind of use your pussy juice to like baptize Joe.
Literally, like do this like the Lion King, like Simba thing. Like, thumb
with your pussy juice just on
Simba.
Joe. It's a very like out of body experience.
Yes. I dress up as the baboon from Lion King. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
Rafiki,
thank you. Yeah, it's I think the one thing about Tantra that is inconvenient is that it takes time. You really do have to pencil in time for that, right? And in this capitalist modern society, like, we're grinding, you know? Who has the time for spiritual pleasure? I'm just kidding. I've made plenty of time for pleasure, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's like I gotta rub one out.
Of course.
I got 6 minutes
to
get cram as many orgasms
as possible
in as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And get back to the grind.
That's
okay too.
Yeah. You gotta like aim for the highest OPM, orgasms per minute. Like you know.
Bet. Fucking bet. This year, like, the biggest goal of mine in all of my pursuits has been to give myself as much grace as possible, because I think like there's been a lot going on in my life, and I feel like I've been fairly overwhelmed a lot of this year in different capacities, and so I'm trying to like give myself, like, put as little pressure on anything that I can. Not to say that I'm not striving towards accomplishment, like I'm, still trying to do well at my job, still trying to create a podcast that you all enjoy, and like all those things, but I'm also trying to like give myself the patience, like who is this really for? If it's for me, what does accomplishment feel or look like? And I feel like the same is applied to sex. So it's like I think there have been other years or other periods of time in my relationship, in my sexual relationship with myself and with my partner, where I've pushed the boundaries more, right? Where I've had more years, where I've tried new things or added something new to my sexual repertoire than this year. But at the same time, I've allocated time towards pleasure. I'm certainly not abstinent. So like last year and the year before, there were so many new, like, different types of play that I dabbled in, and those things are still incorporated in my sex life. But I feel like I didn't try anything like mind-blowingly new this year. That I actually maybe.
Is there something that you want to try?
It's a good question. I think I don't know. I've been doing kind of a lot. There are things I want to do more of. So I think there was a period of time where I was exploring shibari a lot, and I really love that, and I love the artfulness of it.
I like how whenever you talk about these things, you have a little bit of a vocal fry. You're like, shibari.
Do I? Might just be the cold, like the lack of heat in my apartment is giving me like a cold.
No,
like I'm Amy Winehouse.
It's giving like if Paris Hilton just discovered sex for the first time, like, oh my god,
that's hot.
Or like Kim Kardashian, that's just like, hi, this post is sponsored by Love Shop.
It's giving Miley Cyrus after the wildfire.
I can buy myself flowers.
Oh my god, she's here, Miley.
I know. Hello, Miley. Hi.
Hi. Has anyone seen my 8 dogs? Stuff like that, like I've tried and done and played around with, but like I want to do more of. But it's, again, those shibari takes time.
It does,
right? Like,
it takes practice, and it takes a knowledge.
Yeah, it does, and like it takes time before, for sure, and then in the moment it takes a lot of time, and it's worth it. But you gotta have the time.
Oh God, everybody needs to carve out time it's for pleasure, for everything else. It's like you really need this work-life pleasure balance. It's not just work-life. There's pleasure is a different aspect. It may be part of life, but like we need to make time for just us, whether it's sex, losing yourself in a video game. I have significantly lost a lot of video game time because I've just been feeling like work, 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 work. And when I say work, as in both in my professional life in nonprofit and sex education, I mean, like my professional life is that I'm a sex educator for a nonprofit. And when I say sex education, I'm talking about my own personal practice with this podcast. So I'm like, how did I just lose so much time and lose myself? And like in the moment, you know, you better never let it go.
Yeah. Well, it's the dynamic, like the dichotomy of when you start doing the thing you love for your full-time job as well, right? And you know, you and I were in a similar position before where we were both working in corporate, and I'm still working in corporate, obviously. And on my bad days at work, where I'm like, God, fuck, I hate this. I'm like, wait a minute, I have so many things I love that are fulfilling on the side. And then when you consolidate the two things and you're doing something you love in your profession in addition to your own outside practice, I mean, it's a win, right? Like we all should be doing as much of what we love as much as possible. But to your point, you're like, fuck, I'm doing the same thing all the time. And like, it's yeah, I mean, like yeah, it's everything is draining all the time, right? That's just a symptom of the society we live in. So allocating time to pleasure is so important. I've been rethinking a lot about like what masturbation looks like for me. I don't know if you have
What does it look like? Hands on genitals and
like what like setting the scene looks like for myself, I think, and like what creating the self-careness around it, as opposed to, I mean, and yeah, sometimes it is OPM, right? Sometimes it's orgasms per minute and that's all it is. But I've found that like over the last year or so, like what turns me on changes or has changed. And like when I'm by myself versus with a partner. And I feel like I've had to like unpack some of that. And that's normal, right? Like what we crave changes over time. Our appetites change, our hormones change. Like if you're medicated versus unmedicated, like there's lots of things that can change all of that, stress, sleep, whatever. So like I've had to be really conscious about it. And I feel like that's been like I've had to think and set aside time for it, which isn't easy.
I discovered about myself that I'm a little bit of a pain slut. And I mean, this is a very new.
No, did we not know that? I kind of thought maybe we knew that. I'm heckling you. I'm sorry. Keep going. You discovered this.
I mean, okay. Back then, I was a pain slut in the sense that, like, ooh, I love like one quick slap or like choke me, daddy, but like very gentle. But because this year I have spent a total of 30 hours under a tattoo needle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, your tattoos are fucking sick. I'm obsessed.
Thank you.
They look so good.
She just got a touch up. This one on my left arm. It's like a trash polka version of Harley Quinn.
Harley, yeah, she's gorgeous.
And she's depicted as like the goddess Aphrodite by the red rose. Sorry, not red. They're like X-ray roses, and the swan. So
I love it. I will say trash polka does not look good on everyone, but I'm obsessed with yours.
Thank you, because I am trash, right?
And polka.
And polka. So I just discovered this about myself, that like I can endure quite a long time of pain. And the reason I have just put the pieces together is because once I finished that tattoo needle and like once it was lifted up, I was like, hold on, I want more.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I want more. And then I found out why. It's because there's like this dopamine addiction, or not addiction, but like this sort of like craving. Because
getting tattoos is addictive.
Yeah, because when you're undergoing a lot of pain, your body's producing dopamine to counteract that pain. And dopamine is like the happy chemical and the feel good stuff. So I was like, oh my God, I really love it. I want more. So I already scheduled another one for this month.
Good for you. I have a hard and fast, I have to wait a year between tattoos.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way. And it's funny because I haven't ever really thought about it as enjoying the pain of it, but you're right. Like first of all, I do think of myself as having a high pain tolerance, and like I've sat for pretty significantly sized tattoos on different parts of my body, and it's never been like that bad to me. But it is like you get one, and there's something so powerful in like the ability to change your body. And like to me it's like a ownership and a reclamation of your body, of your form. But at the same time, it is that, like, especially for those of us who struggle with a lower happy feeling on occasion, if you struggle chemically with happy feelings, then having your body go into shock and the dopamine hit is like fucking fire, right? I mean, not to say you can't get that from other experiences, but definitely like it makes sense for folks to feel addicted to the aftermath of that, right? But
It's kind of like you're saying, don't go to therapy, just get a tattoo and some piercings and you should be good to go.
Literally. No, I'm kidding. Do both. I'm doing both. So. But that's it. This is the thing, is like, that's why I do have a hard and fast, because I'm like, God, I want 80,000, but I will just keep going. And they're also expensive. Or at least where I am, but there's so many great tattoo artists in Toronto that I have saved that I really want to go to. So yeah, maybe I'll.
When you come to Toronto, I'm going to recommend you the best tattoo artist, because all my tattoos are done solely by women who are so talented. Yeah, I only pick women because I love the female form on me. So who knows how to draw women better than women, right?
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
Men can go suck it.
We hate them.
We hate men.
We hate them.
Yeah, we're only for the girls, gays, and the theys.
100%. Yeah, and Joe.
And Joe, he's one of us.
Yeah, he is, basically.
Yeah. So I've told you all about how I work in nonprofit, and I think I've mentioned this on the show. But one of the things I do in my job is to study this document that we get every year called the Sex Lives Report. And I think you may find this interesting, because in the Sex Lives Report, we interview about 1,000 young Canadians between the ages of 18 to 29. So very young people. And there's some really interesting stuff.
I was going to say, 29 is like kind of.
I know. That's only because I'm 31 now. So I'm just
so
anyone 30 and below is like a baby to me.
Yeah.
So in the Sex Lives Report, you may find this interesting, but out of the 1,000 young Canadians, so this is basically like a good sample size for all of North America, 42% said that they don't know if sex ed helped or hindered their sexual journey. That's almost half of the entire population, which is wild, right? And then here's another really interesting stat. So when we asked the 1,000 young people, 60% of them said that they go to the internet for sex ed. 34% said family doctor, and then 23% said clinic, which kind of like worries me that like 60% of them are going to the internet, because the internet could mean social media, their own Google search.
It means TikTok these days. Like TikTok is like for Gen Z, which luckily neither of us are, but for Gen Z, like it is the number one search engine. Like they're not going to Google. At least in the US, they're going to, and I maybe even globally, but the stats I've read are definitely for the US, but they're going to TikTok first before they go to Google.
And so much of the content creators on TikTok are like chronically online, and they've learned everything, all their life skills by being online. So I'm like, I don't know, literally touch grass, please. Like, what?
And honestly, like family doctor isn't necessarily much better. Like clinics with certified sex educators are really where you need to be, because or sexologists or whatever their title is, right? Because I don't know what the Canadian like med school requirements are, but in the US, like doctors don't have to take sex ed.
Oh God. I don't think they have to take sex ed here either.
Yeah, like your OBGYN in the US has not been required to take sex ed, right? They take anatomy, right? Like and I have a trauma-informed OBGYN she's a gift. Anyone in Illinois, if you need a top-notch OBGYN who's trauma-informed, like, fucking let me know. This woman is everything. And I can tell every year I go to her, I'm like, God, she learned a little bit more this year, I can tell. But they are not required to take sex ed. And so, they know the medical of it. They understand what gonorrhea looks like and what to prescribe. They understand what PCOS is. They understand, like, they understand the nuts and bolts anatomy, but they do not understand pleasure. Nuts and bolts. They've not been trained to talk about pleasure, right?
That's weird.
Yes. And
That's so wild.
It's not the place to go. If your question is strictly like reproductive or anatomical, then yeah, talk to your family doctor. Or maybe even the internet then. But if you're talking about pleasure, like, fuck, neither of those places are helpful a lot of the time.
Mm-mm.
Unless you know what you're looking for, right? Like, I talk about media literacy all the fucking time. It's like my favorite subject. But you and I going to the internet, we're informed adults. We know what it is that we're looking for. We can spot an accurate resource, or, especially like, when we think about harm reduction, there are so many resources that pose themselves online as being queer friendly or reproductive justice friendly, and they're like fucking like right-wing backed, like, fake websites, right, where people go to get brainwashed. And so it's like, you and I can spot that shit from a mile away, but like youth, especially like 18 to 22-year-olds are not youth. Young adults are not gonna know what they're looking at if they don't already have a foundation to work with.
Yeah. And like the way
I'm
I
up in
like
arms
to call
about this,
those
clearly.
and as you should, because the way I approach it is like, when I see bullshit, I kind of just like poke fun at it and point out how ridiculous it sounds. Like, for example, there was this one tweet that I saw. I'm never going to call it X. Shut the fuck up. Do not come for me.
Fuck X.
No one. So I went on Twitter and I saw this tweet that said something like how when men ejaculate, they also ejaculate with them their cerebral fluid or their life source or something, like the
cerebrospinal fluid, like from their spine.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like,
what
no.
tubes do you think are?
I know, right?
Where they go?
Where is the connection there? And it's like this really wild tweet from this like account with like 36,000 followers or something. So what I did was I retweeted it and I said, hey fellas, when you ejaculate, you lose a little bit of your life. So as a fun party trick, at your funeral, put your soul into a Horcrux and then come back and surprise your relatives.
I feel like that should be your whole Twitter, is finding like and debunking or like calling out just insane sexual and reproductive claims.
Exactly what I do already.
Because
it's just the wildest thing.
Do you like? Do they? Like, does the vast evidence
they
go that far
try
back? Like, where do they think it go?
They try to back it up with these links that sort of confirm their bias. Right. It's like, whatever. But the funny thing is that, right, I've got links. They're not really good receipts, but they're links.
Yeah.
But what's wild to me is that when they tweet this kind of stuff, the Twitter or the tweet is accompanied with like community notes that say, actually, this tweet is wrong. There's nothing been proven. And
yeah, I'm glad that Twitter did implement that, because
it's funny.
There's so much misinformation.
Yeah. And also on misinformation, just one last point about the Sex Files report, and I think is really interesting. 1 in 3 young adults don't use a condom because they think condoms are used solely to prevent pregnancy. And I'm like,
that's like the least, like, there's so many other methods of pregnancy prevention and so few readily accessible STI prevention. Like, condoms are one of the hard and fast ways to prevent STIs. Turns out pulling out
not that effective.
Doesn't keep you from getting an STI. It's so weird. Like, you can literally, like, you can dry hump naked and exchange STIs.
Yeah.
But okay. But you know what? Fucking fine.
I guess. Whatever. Do your thing.
It's just like, that's like, condoms are the most readily accessible form of risk prevention.
Yeah. And they're so like convenient. I mean, like,
penis condoms, I should say. The female condom is expensive.
It's a little less. Yeah. But what I do want to say is that in defense of the youth, I get it because you need to spend money and you probably don't have a job. Fine. However, I would like it if the youth and the families that they're with can have this conversation. So at least their primary care providers, their parents can start this conversation around safer sex and say, hey, I'm actually not comfortable with you having sex because you're so young, but if you're going to have sex, at least use this, right? And then that gives them the choice and it starts the conversation around that. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it like a quick anecdote from my adolescence that's a cautionary tale that everyone should be aware of, I think. And this is something that I think applies to adults too. But my first penis and vagina sex partner, obviously I'd been doing other stuff for a while.
Penis
and also
and
like
a-hole, penis and mouth,
yeah,
penis and
I
nostril.
penis and a-hole before I penis and vagina. Yeah, of course.
Penis
yeah.
and ear hole and nostril.
Of course, lost my ear virginity very young.
Yep.
No, but in hindsight, like I had hooked up with several girls in my friend group before this and like didn't count it as sex because I thought I was straight. And it's so annoying to me. I'm like, I actually hooked up with women before, but whatever. But the first penis and vagina sex partner I had, he and I used Trojan condoms. And
Trojan, sponsor me, please.
well, yeah, maybe wait until you finish my story. They may not want to. But they were lubed, and my partner at the time, he was also a teenager. He was uncircumcised. And there is and maybe it's changed. Last time I checked, it had not. But in the Trojan condom lube, there is an ingredient called inoxanol 9 that can cause yeast infections. Pretty readily in penis and vagina owners alike. My partner at the time had a yeast infection from the lube, probably because he was a teenager who wasn't cleaning his penis well enough because he had a foreskin. This is my guess as an educator now and an adult in hindsight. That's my guess.
Still clean.
If you don't clean your penis, that's, how bacteria gets trapped. And that's probably why, like, I think on average, like Trojan's not readily giving people yeast infections, but if you don't clean your body, that's how yeast infections happen, right? So from lube or otherwise. So that's my guess. And he didn't have symptoms at first. And we never at the time had not had penetrative sex without a condom, but we'd fool around before, right, without a condom. And we lost our penis vagina virginities to each other. So we weren't worried about STIs. We probably should have been because I obviously had been eating pussy and exchanging fluids with vagina owners, but whatever. Vagina. In my head, I was a virgin. So whatever. But yeah, I got a yeast infection from fooling around with him without him penetrating me. It was the first yeast infection I had. I think I was 16. And this shit was crazy. Like, I had a horrible yeast infection. I went to the doctor and I knew I didn't have an STI because I knew he didn't have one, or I felt strongly at the time. And my doctor was like, I don't understand how you're walking. Like, this is such a bad yeast infection. Like, it was. And so it's one of those things where use condoms, but also like be mindful of your body. Like, he definitely had symptoms he was like blowing off and like didn't acknowledge, because obviously for penis owners it can be pretty mild if at all symptomatic, and for me obviously as a vulva owner it was fucking crazy. So like it's about using the right tools for sure, but it's also about keeping your body clean and knowing what questions to ask when your body is acting out of place, right? So, and also this is why you buy high quality lube. Maybe don't buy the lubed condom, maybe buy like high quality water-based lube. But
oh my god. And also, like, just for anyone that's got a dick, like, smegma is still very much a thing. Mm-hmm. It's not hard to like go under the creases and skin folds of your dick.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, weirdly enough, a majority of my penis owning partners have been uncircumcised, totally by happenstance. I feel like that's really rare. I talk to a lot of US based.
Oh, I thought you were just discriminating.
I have a preference.
Let me
for
see.
Foreskin.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want a nice little hat.
I do technically have a preference for foreskin because I understand why people circumcise their kids, but I'm obviously like, your body comes out a certain way, like just leave it. Like, teach your kid how to clean their dick, like don't. But whatever. Like I'm body neutral. I love all bodies, whatever. I think that's the only time foreskin's ever like posed like a health problem. And so and he was boy, right? He was a teenager. So his hygiene habits, I'm sure, were less than ideal. But like, use the right tools, but also just like listen to your body and like clean yourself is the moral of the story.
Clean your dick the same way you would clean your hands and your legs and the inside of your asshole.
Yes. Literally, when I hear people talk about how straight men don't clean their assholes because it's like gay, I'm like, like that's the one part you really should clean all the time.
God, when straight men, like, they don't buy a bidet because it feels gay. Ugh.
I got a bidet in every toilet in my house.
Yeah, as you should.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes.
What's up, all you sick fucking perverts? Don't you just love love? The Love Shop has everything you need to feel the love in the air or in between your legs, wherever you want, really. They've got everything from vibrators, lubes, lingerie, and even full-sized sex dolls. Wow, I guess love really does come in all shapes and sizes. Visit loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and use code SEXEDWITHTIM at checkout for 15% off the whole store. And the best part is that they ship all over Canada, US, and Ireland? To all my whores in Dublin, top of the morning to ya. That's loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and check out code SEXEDWithTim for 15% off the entire store. Now get to fucking. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetishwear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jockstraps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me. 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my god. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me, and girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jockstrap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there, and I'm on the train. I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWithTim for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
God, men give me such the ick. Have I told you the weirdest icks that have been coming up for me?
No,
like one of my biggest icks is when a man eats something hot and they do the thing with their mouth and they go.
I do that kind of a lot. Would I give you that?
But when I say men, everything that we're doing is okay because we're the girls, gays, and the days.
Yeah,
That's fine for us because we're cute.
It's only for cis het men.
Yes, exactly.
Or cis gay men. But
no.
Okay, just
gays,
cis het men.
Gays are fine. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Okay.
When a cis het man does.
Like when you got you took a bite of the hot pocket too soon. It's kind of like I like want to like beat my chest like a gorilla when I do that. Me, Tarzan, you, Jane.
This hot pocket.
Hot pocket, quite hot.
Or like,
yeah. What else?
This is a more recent one that I have found. When men run, and okay, sorry.
Tim said I get the ick from everything. Actually.
Yeah. Sorry, wait, hold on. Let me contextualize this.
Try to save it.
Yeah. When men run in the sense that, like, fine, go run and jog for fitness. That's totally okay. But when a guy runs because they're late for something, I'm like, ew. What are you doing with your life?
Like, is it the type of running?
Yeah, because you're like rushing. Like, okay, when you see a man in a suit run because he's late for a meeting, he does a specific gait, and it's just
Yeah,
like
that's true.
and it's like this sort of middle between like running and walking. Like
Yeah.
when you run halfway and then walk halfway because you think now it's too early, then you run again because you think it's too late. Like, what are you doing with your
Yeah.
life?
I definitely also, I feel like you're just describing me because I take the public transportation to the office. And so I regularly like walk, run to catch my bus. And I'm definitely doing, but in my head, I look like Carrie Bradshaw crossing the street. Like, and,
Or like Anne Hathaway in Devil Wears Prada, looking glam.
That is exactly how I picture myself, but I think I probably look exactly like how you're describing. But I have this image of you in my head, and I know this is not what you said, but in my head, you see a man who's like running late, and you're like, God, that's so gross that he's running late. Like it's like a part of the run, but it's also like what the run implicates.
No, I physically have a reaction where my lunch just comes up in my mouth when I see a man run.
Leave promptly.
God. Yeah. God, it's just so disgusting. Or like when men have gap teeth, like fix it. Like what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Brutal. Fucking brutal.
Or when they have like the whites at the corners of their mouth.
Oh, well, that's
like,
nasty. Like what's up
ew.
with that? For anyone.
Yeah, come on.
Like,
yeah, for anyone.
Yeah.
But when men have like gap teeth, the whites in their mouth, or they have like a speech impediment, get it together. If nothing, just fix that. Please. If you can't get your teeth straight, how do you expect us to get a straight and narrow relationship?
So true.
Huh?
Teeth are indicative of the quality of the relationship.
Exactly. Thank you
Metrics
so
of
much.
2024. That's so fucking funny. Let's
These
remember that I'm
things-
married to a Brit. They don't known for their quality dental work.
No!
I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, Joe.
His teeth are gray.
Oh God.
That's
Yeah, no,
fucking
these are the
funny.
things that I found out about myself in 2023. Or like when I saw a man just fully like drink an entire bottle of Coke on public transit. I was like, ew.
Oh, the carbonation.
What? Yeah, ew. what are
God,
you
my
doing?
heartburn hurts thinking about that.
God, I just feel like I'm gonna explode or like fart on your behalf.
For
Like,
sure.
ugh,
It's like
God.
secondhand bloat.
Yeah. Men need to stop reproducing.
But
I really do.
so yeah, I mean, it's crazy how evolution led us to this point.
Oh, speaking of men stopping reproducing, I found a few things that might interest you.
I love it. Give me the info.
So this is a study from Washington State University that was published early April 2023, where they found a gene in male mammals, only male mammals, where if they could isolate that gene, it creates infertility. And it is reversible. Isn't that so cool? Like the study has been done in rats
Joe
so far.
could be injected with something to make him infertile.
Well, not so much injected, but like
How do I make him
You wish
infertile?
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Get a butcher knife. No, I'm kidding.
No, but I like
So-
his dick.
Yeah, I know, right? Get a vasectomy, people. I don't know.
Yeah, he will.
It's
eventually.
reversible. But like, you know what I mean? It's like this sort of male contraception at a molecular level where if
That's
they're
awesome.
able to isolate the gene, I forget what it's called, but if any scientists like listen to this,
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but it's like ARRDC5.
The pirate gene.
RDC5. Yeah, that's the gene that's
Mhm.
only specific to male testes.
Okay.
Right? So if they isolate that gene, that creates infertility, and then they can just reactivate it again should they want to have children.
It's interesting. I wonder too for intersex folks if research on that can help increase fertility for intersex folks who struggle with fertility because of their, I don't want to say atypical, but their non-binary genetic anatomical makeup, right? For folks who have testes, but they're not developed to the fullest extent or whatever, and they face infertility. Obviously, a lot of intersex folks do struggle with that. So it'd be cool if people like me who have a penis owning partner and do not want to procreate, I can have him deal with that because getting my tubes tied is expensive and invasive.
Mm-hmm. And
Even though I
painful
wanted
as
to,
fuck.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But we love that. We love pain, right? So I'm kidding.
Oh, yes. I
Take out my
love.
organs. It feels so good.
Tie up my fallopian tubes, daddy.
Literally. But also to help like remedy infertility issues for folks who do face it.
Right? I think
That would be sick.
it's so useful. And it's like, why didn't we think of this before? Why was the science centered around female reproductive systems? But like,
Well,
did we forget?
this is the thing, right? Like this is the fucking double-edged sword of science, right? One, we never want to do any studies about female sexuality. Doesn't exist, right? But
Unless it's
if
scientific.
Right. So the thing is but if it's about things like fertility, then it can't be the penis owner's problem. It can't be
No,
their
of course
fault.
not.
It's like in
No.
Handmaid's Tale. Oh no, it's the women who are infertile.
Another Canadian.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, God.
But right, but it is like let's pretend it's all the women and the men are all fertile when actually like a lot of the men are fucking infertile. And so, but that's the thing, right? It's like all of that. The research is driven by like the patriarchal lens. So it's like if there's any fucking room for the penis owner to be at fault, God forbid, quote unquote, at fault for the quote unquote problem, then let's not research it.
Let's not.
Same thing with like male contraception versus female contraception.
We truly need more backing and funding for the sexual sciences, and not just like, you know, obstetrics and gynecology and proctology, but like, you know, the science behind pleasure. And, you know, like right now, my favorite bits of science are a collection of studies that kind of center around kink and like the science behind kink, but there's not enough for that, right? Like, you know, how like the part of your genitals in your brain is kind of close to the part of the part of your foot thing, something like that. So I'm like, oh, that's really, really interesting. And as I was digging down this sort of like science rabbit hole, I saw this really interesting article from Business Insider, and it was like published in September of 2023. Wow, this is like not that long ago.
No, recently.
Where they said that how long should you wait for sex? And it's according to science. So I want to get your take on this, because according to this article, there's 3 options. Option 1 is a few weeks. And there's a psychotherapist by the name of Barton Goldsmith who said that a total of 36 hours spent together is all it takes to be ready. And now it doesn't have to be consecutive 36 hours. That can like, you know, build up over like maybe a weekend or like one date after the other. But like there's not enough data to back that up. However, there is one where like there's this 2012 study in heterosexual college students, and they found out that like for each additional month of a relationship, women in the relationships lost sexual desire, but men didn't. So again, that's kind of like,
I feel like especially with something like Business Insider, not that it's not a credible source in terms of media, but like this is why we need like really thorough scientific studies, because one of the questions I have here is like, how are they defining a lot of the words they're using, right? Like, what is ready? Is it like an emotional comfort? Is it a vulnerability? Is it a physical, like a level of physical arousal? Like how do they define some of that language?
It's when the vagina starts to open up and starts to blossom and have actual flowers come out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and then a neon sign comes that's like ready.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then yeah, I'd say 36 hours spent with Joe and my neon sign was fully well lit. No, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, you can spend 2 hours with someone and be like, yeah, I want to fuck this person's brains out.
I've spent 0 hours with someone.
Yeah, true. and want to fuck their brains out. Yeah. Right. And so that's, like, what does ready mean? And, like, don't get me wrong. I think there are definitely certain... Like, I think there is a psychology to the anticipation that we can create around a sexual encounter with someone, right? Like, I think that most of us feel greater gratification when there's tension, right? And that tension can be built emotionally and mentally as much as physically, right? That's pretty scientifically grounded. And that can take time, but I'm not sure that that's how they're describing time spent together. I'm not sure that's how they're describing readiness. And also, so you were saying that in a heterosexual relationship, the woman felt less sexual desire after a month?
So with each consecutive month in a relationship, the women were less sexually desired, or no, so they were basically feeling less horny, but the guys didn't.
See, that's so interesting to me because I feel like there's such a trope around straight women feeling like not being able to have casual sex, right? Especially in like modern hookup culture, the idea is like straight women have to have romance or consistency or intimacy in order to want sex. But maybe it's more like around this idea of like there's less initial excitement the longer you're in a relationship, and so you want the sex less. But that's just like I send me the article because I'm like I am kind of confused by some of that.
The wording is.
I need more data.
Yeah, no, God, I'm such a data slut. I really love
Yeah, me too.
Reading about this. And it is very interesting with the other kind of options that they give, because the other one is like a few months, like where they say you got to finish the honeymoon phase so that you're thinking rationally and your brain is not like running on all these happy chemicals and
it's not going to happen for me.
Yeah, like you're no longer like ruminating on the happy possibilities of it. And then the third one is wait for marriage, which I'm like,
No, I got to tell you guys, I do know some people who've waited till marriage in my life.
It's disappointing.
Try the car before you buy it.
Yeah,
try the car before you buy it. Wait, if you want to wait until you're engaged, fine. If there's some other metric or hurdle you have to set, but try before you buy. Because
I always have sex with a guy before learning their name.
That's an important, you know what? I love that for you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to waste my time until I know that this is going to work.
You fuck well. Yeah, right.
And now I can humanize you.
Yeah. So like in bed while they're fucking me, I'm like, oh, yes. Oh, fuck me. Guy
Tony?
with red hair.
What?
I just like put you in my phone as your most obvious descriptor.
It's just like hottie he him.
Yeah. Just like, oh my God, yes, this dude with a scar. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, Scarface. Yeah. Al Pacino.
God, it wasn't even on his face. It was like this scar that went down his chest because he had like a pie pass. So
damn.
I'm like, whatever. That was the most distinctive thing about him, because I've only had sex with him once because he did not have a personality. So I didn't bother learning his name, other than like, I know that you had a triple, double, whatever bypass.
Bypass. So, wow. And lived to tell
so I was like,
though.
bypass.
Bypass. That was a win.
Yeah.
Like 80s movie fist pump into the air. Oh, that was good.
Dun, dun,
that was your peak. It's downhill from here. Yeah.
It is. Truly is. Because
don't you forget about me.
No, I'm like, please forget about me. I don't want you hitting me up ever again.
Just block me, please.
Oh God, sex is so interesting in our culture. And because you're so into media literacy, you might find this very interesting, that Lifetime is featuring their first ever sex scene in one of their movies.
Auga.
Right?
What's the movie about? Is it like a nice representation of sex, or is it trauma related?
It's called A Cowboy Christmas Romance.
Oh my God, is it going to be a good sex scene? It's not even like a scary trauma, because like sometimes Lifetime movies are like weird crime movies, and I was like, oh, it'll just be like a scary trauma related sex scene. But Cowboy Christmas Romance, tag me in.
Isn't that so cute? Like,
I'm gonna Google it later and watch it.
Yeah, it came out on December 9, so it's already
we got time
up for viewing. Yeah, and like the guy seems very like basic in the sense that like, oh, I've seen this face before. His name's Adam Sen, and you're a model, and I put this in quotes, actor. But whatever.
Sure.
The funny thing about the senior, what was said, the funny thing what was said about this was from the senior vice president, and her name's Tia Magini, and she said, we think there's an audience out there that's hungry for grown-up romance, and we're looking forward to adding some smolder to the usual holiday sugar and spice. Like, what was your audience before you said that? There's an
I
audience
was
for
gonna
hungry grown-up
say,
romance?
Like, there is an audience for that. Trust me. Like, I exist in dark corners of book talk, and I'm all about the adult smolder content. Don't get me wrong. I will read some smut, but it seems a bit late
Yeah.
for them to add that to the branding. 2, there are other places that people are getting that. Is Lifetime going to be the avenue?
The
I don't
home.
know.
Yeah, it's not going to be
I'm going to
Hallmark.
watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it, and I'll give a review.
Give an honest review, please. I mean, I can already tell what's going to happen in any sort of Lifetime or Hallmark Christmas movie where it's this girl from a big city that's coming to the Midwest because her family has asked her to come over. And then she goes to the farmer's market and then meets a guy who's got like this plaid who's selling I don't know, pine cones and apples.
He's selling
And
pine
then-
cones and apples, but maybe
Yes,
they get
in
into
that
a
order.
fight. They get into a fight,
Yes.
and
Because they have their differences,
they
like
have their
big city, small farm.
yeah, he's like, why are you moving so quick? You're walking so fast. You know, why aren't you taking the moment? And she's like, fuck you and your pine cones. And then later, you know, she needs help, and he helps her.
Yeah. She's like driving her like dad's pickup truck
Yep.
because she's carrying all these groceries. And then
course.
for whatever reason, her tire bursts. And
I was
just
literally
so happens,
thinking, what vehicular accident could occur for
Yeah.
this man to aid her?
and it just so happens that the car behind her is being driven by the farmer,
By
by Farmer Clint.
Farmer Clint
Clint.
Eastwood.
Yeah.
And it's an enemies to lovers hometown
Pipeline.
Christmas.
Yep.
And you know what? Enemies to lovers is the one.
Honestly, I love it. I'm here for enemies to lovers. It is the best sort of storyline ever.
I live in, like, I'm an ACOTAR girly. I'm a dark romantasy girly. Give me lore, world build. Okay, I can't just read straight up smut. I need world building, but then I need someone to get railed, or I'm out. And enemies to lovers is the one. Only one bed available in the inn. Also a good trope.
Yeah.
I'm not against friends to lovers, but I kind of want enemies to friends to lovers. I feel strongly about all of
Enemies
this.
to friends to lovers, or lovers to enemies and friends is also another one, which I like.
Yes,
I also
lovers
like
to enemies is an iconic.
lovers, friends, lovers, enemies. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, I love that. Like any reality show
Yeah.
that you've seen out there. Like the entire cast of Vanderpump Rules
Literally.
is friends, enemies, lovers.
Yes, yes. The
Or sorry,
triple
friends, lovers,
whammy.
enemies. Yeah,
Friends,
yeah.
lovers, enemy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple whammy.
I love
Actually, that's how I
Triple
describe
whammy.
all of my ex-boyfriends. Friends to
Triple
enemies
whammy?
to lovers.
Oh, I see.
Or friends to lovers to enemies. Yeah.
Enemies,
Yeah.
as they all are, because men are what? Trash.
Yeah, they've all been canceled.
Oh God, it's so icky when a man breathes and they make a sound when they inhale. Ugh. Like a whistle. Ugh. Ew. Like when they have like overgrown facial hair and then when they inhale it makes that
Like, why don't they
like-
groom better?
ew, or like I don't know, fix your sinus passages. Like how hard
I
is
will
it?
say lengthy nose hairs can be quite an ick. Here's the thing though, Tim, is so you've identified obviously that you are a sleut for pain in a newfound way.
Slut, it's an SLUT with an umlaut.
Of course,
The U.
sleut. Das un Sleut.
That's un Slut. Ja.
But ja, genau. But you also have identified a lot of icks. So how are you reconciling like a need for pain while also trying to avoid the immense number of discomforts that you're encountering on your day to day?
How do I reconcile the fact that men give me pain and the fact that I like pain?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a good question that I do
It's
not
a lot
have
to
the answer
navigate.
for. Yeah, because like the most amount of pain I ever receive are from men.
Of course.
And the most amount of disgust I receive are also from men.
Mhm.
So then how do I balance the two out? Good
Yeah.
fucking question. I wish that just men would stop talking. I think
Like,
that's it. Yeah, just don't say your name. Don't talk.
Yeah.
Just, leave the money on the counter and
Yeah.
we'll be on our business, okay?
I feel like this is how sex is weird. You're like, yeah, I really like that, except when you do it like that. Actually, like here, I thought I was into it, now I'm not. Or like I really didn't like that until you did it this way. Now I'm kind of into it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like if you keep it very much within the bedroom, your icks, I can tolerate that. Keep your icks in the bedroom and don't bring it out there, okay? You can say whatever you want, and I know it's going to be so unserious. You can eat your hot pocket and cool it down in your mouth like
yeah, I do feel like
keep it in the
certain
bedroom.
sounds in bed are totally acceptable because it's like your body's just doing your body. But like, yeah, if you do that shit like at your desk next to me at work, I'm like, ugh.
Or here's another ick that I just found out, or not found out, but rather it has affected me on a visceral level. Is when a man walks in one direction, he stops, looks at his watch, and says, "Oh wait, it's this time. I actually have to walk the other direction." And I'm like, "What?"
The icks
What
you
are
have
you
are
doing?
so specific. I mean, I guess that icks are specific. That is kind of like the point. But like, I hate when someone doesn't know what direction they're supposed to be walking.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen a person just walk and then they stop, look at the time? Oh wait, I actually have to walk the other direction. Okay. Like, what was that?
It's chaotic. It's chaotic energy. We can't stand it.
Oh my God. Or when a man asks for directions. Ew. Use Google Maps like a regular person. Please.
Yeah, that is weird. Like, why aren't you using a phone? Unless your
Yeah.
phone's dead or you don't have
The
one.
amount of
but, like,
times a man on the train has asked me, "Oh, is this going to the West End?" I'm like, "Yes." I was like, oh, "Okay, thank you." Like, did you not look
trains
at
have
the sign?
signs. Yeah, trains have signs in them
Trains
and
have
outside
signs?
of them.
There are train announcements, you know?
Yeah, that's true. They are talking.
Let's do a little bit of critical thinking here, folks. Like,
Like, put in like
Oh,
just a little bit more effort.
yeah. But when a woman asks me if she's on the right train, yeah, no, for sure.
Yes, honey.
Okay. Yes, honey. You're totally okay.
You're
safe
so
with
safe.
me.
Yep, 100%. I feel that. Yep.
Oh my God. I hope to see less men in 2024 because I'm tired.
I mean, it is a problem that you like to fuck them.
I do. I am very much chaotic homosexual, as I advertise myself.
Of course.
Speaking of homosexuals, remember on your show where I did a little bit of a test run of a new game that I was trying out called Homo or Homo?
Yes.
Are you ready to play?
Yes.
Yes!
More.
Yeah. All right. So for everyone that didn't listen to my episode on Sexistentialist, I'm introducing a game called Home or Homo, where I will say a title and it is my guest's job to figure out if it's Home, an HGTV show, or Homo, a gay porn.
Yes.
And these are actually very difficult because I saw the overlap between these two very polar opposite genres. And I was like, this is wild. I can get behind this. So here we go, Em. The first title you have is $50,000 three-ways.
Oh, it's surely it's porn. Surely Homo.
Interior designer Tiffany Brooks helps renovation-ready homeowners decide how to best spend their hard-earned $50,000. By getting to the heart of what really matters, Tiffany turns overwhelming tasks into a transformation journey that's worth every penny.
The $50,000, my first thought was, oh, it's HGTV, but three-way, what could they possibly be talking about?
I have no idea.
Is there like a three-way reno? Like three people switch homes to renovate? That wasn't in the description you just said.
I think it's this sort of like splitting the $50,000 in three different aspects of a renovation.
Okay.
I think. I'm not too sure.
I'm dissatisfied with that result.
You're
like
so bitter about it.
I'm so sad.
That's so funny. All right, you have a lot of chances to redeem yourself because I got a bunch of these. The next one is simply called Blueprint.
God, it could be like an edgy porno name. It could be, but I'm gonna say home.
A cocky construction company owner, an architect with an ass that just won't quit, a plumber brandishing a steel rod, a cement stud who drives a hard bargain.
I'm so
Those are
fucking
just
angry. God
few of the
fucking damn
players.
it.
Who team up to design a blue-collar blueprint.
God fucking damn it. Shit. I love to win. And this sucks. I want out. I'm leaving the room. Okay. No, I'm ready. I got him.
So difficult. Oh my God. I love this.
And I can kind of picture the movie poster like in my head.
Yeah, right. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can pull up the cover for you because it is like wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some tribal tattoos working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And an ass that won't quit.
It is truly an ass that won't quit. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a bad movie poster.
No, it's not. It's great. But Blueprint, you would have easily thought that was HGTV.
Yeah, the typeface I wouldn't have chosen, but that's okay.
Yeah. But you as a Southern woman need to have a little more discernment because I'm pretty sure you watch a lot of HGTV.
I have. I have watched a lot of HGTV, but I'm behind. Like I haven't really in the last like 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I haven't either. I watch a lot of HGTV for someone that has neither an H or a G. So
Fair. But you do have a TV and that's all that matters.
I do have a TV and that's really all I need. And it's the size of my phone. I'm watching all the Netflix I can.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, next one. Bigger is better. I made these really hard.
You really did. I'm gonna say HGTV. I'm gonna say home.
You're right.
Yes, God, thank fuck.
Expert flippers Colin and Anne Branca give their buyers the best of both worlds by buying charming small homes and increasing their size. These additions aren't always easy, though. Unexpected repairs often mean taking a loss, but this couple takes the risk because bigger is always better in their line of work.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Bigger is better.
I was thinking like in anal play, bigger is not always better.
Mm-mm. Not all the time. As someone who does have a very big hole,
Well established.
I am, it's a well-established hole.
Yeah.
All right.
A well, if you will.
A well, deep and wet, and you need to dig hard until you hit water. Anyway, let's not go down that. Next one is the Super Barrio Brothers. Barrio as in like a neighborhood.
Surely it's HGTV. Surely it's home.
In this world, two young plumbers, Mario and Luigi Barrios, struggle to stay independent from Koopa Utilities' empire. Then one fiery summer day, the Barrio Bros get an urgent call from Rick and Mac. The nasty Koopa has raised the temperature in the apartment to unbearable degrees just to watch them sweat, and the young man can't turn off the heat.
Oh my God. Maybe like an HGTV show wouldn't use the term barrio because they don't want to like keep they don't want to like ostracize certain communities. They do have a pretty white.
Yeah.
Although I will tell you, Luigi's looking pretty white there, but it is really blurry on my screen.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't make an assumption about someone's
No, it is
ethnicity.
Luigi is very pale. But yeah, this does give HGTV vibes if you take out the context of gay porn because they're both like construction-y and
they're
very
plumbers.
like they're also I'm not sure what this is. Is this like his midriff or is
I
that his
feel like
actual
maybe
penis?
that's a Photoshop gone wrong situation.
Like could this be like the fupa area?
It's his fupa. Yeah.
It's the fupa.
Exactly. Fat upper penis area.
All right, we've got about 3 more, so you've got a chance to redeem yourself. All right, here's the next one. Opportunity knocks.
Home.
Are you sure? Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're gonna hate yourself.
Fuck. Shit.
After a decade away, Dirk Caver returns home from college and the military to reunite with former coach Dolan Wolf, the two jocks catching up with a suck and fuck exchange.
Excellent character names. Excellent character names. I can't be mad about that one. It's too good.
You can't. I mean, those are their like porn star names, but
Excellent
like,
names. Doesn't matter.
and yeah, like you should see what I'm looking at right now. Let me pull it up for you real quick.
Yes, please.
It's very much like giving Mormon fantasy. This guy here is getting his dick sucked by what I would think is the coach.
This guy's the happiest man to be receiving a blowjob right now. No one has ever been so fucking happy to receive a blowjob as this man.
Like, look at
That
that
guy.
smile. This smile right here, just like gleaming ear to ear.
He's like in a dental office billboard.
Get up.
But he's
yeah,
getting
yeah.
head. But he's getting head.
Yeah, this is giving like I got some
Come to the dental
Invisalign.
office and get a blowjob.
And then this guy's just fully buried in
He's-
all the way to his pelvis.
Yeah, there's no way he can breathe. There's no way.
No, he's not going to breathe.
Doesn't need to.
All right, next one. Down to the studs.
God.
I
I'd
picked
hate
some
you if
really
I didn't
hard
love
ones.
you so much.
I picked some really hard ones for you intentionally because I gave you some easy ones in your show.
Down to the studs. Okay. Home. I'm going to stick with home.
Ding, 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 ding.
Thank fuck. Okay.
Based out of the booming real estate market of Chattanooga, husband-husband duo PJ and Thomas. Oh, that was very close. Husband-husband duo. PJ and Thomas.
Easily could turn into a porno.
Exactly. PJ and Thomas are using their design and renovation skills to improve their hometown one flip at a time. Yep.
Chattanooga. There you have it. Fuck. So I've gotten
Oh my
2
God.
right?
Yeah. 2 out of 7.
It's not good.
So you're barely passing.
No, I've got a full
Just like how
F
I'm
right
barely passing.
now. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. This last one, I'm going to make it really hard and it's going to be very ambiguous. So get ready. You only got one guess at this. Okay, Ab?
Okay.
This last one is called Fuck Me Daddy.
It's a porno.
Are you sure?
It's definitely homo. Yay. I got one. Yay.
The daddies are here with one purpose from start to finish to smash the fuck out of these willing and able cum pig holes.
My praise kink is itching.
The bottoms
Yay,
like it
got
hard,
it.
hungry, and wait, the bottoms like it hard, hungry for a nonstop pounding of their dirty, filthy holes. And boy, do the daddies deliver. Daddy, sorry, it's not Daddy Fuck My Hole, it's Daddy Smash My Hole, is a wall-to-wall, raw fucking adventure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smash my hole.
Daddy smash
Super
my hole.
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Wow.
Daddy Smash My Hole.
What a
How
gift.
amazing.
Those are fucking
Yeah.
good. I mean, they're fun. I'm having so much. Like, play at home, kids. Adults. This is an 18+ show, right? Play at home. Kids I'm referring to as
Yeah.
adults I'm referring to as kids. Whatever.
Adults.
You got it.
Sure, you're all adults. And speaking of adults, just in the last year in 2023, this show got nominated for a podcast
Yes,
award.
it did. Congratulations.
I mean, I'm just happy to be nominated, but in reality, I'm like, give me that win. I don't know by the time that this airs whether or not I won, but like, hey, a nomination for the Canadian Podcast Awards is really cool.
It's huge.
And yeah, don't mean to, just like my dick, don't mean to swing it around. It's huge.
No, oh my gosh, you should toot your own horn, right? Like, this is like, a lot of people don't understand how much time and effort goes into podcast production, especially for those of us who are one-person crews. And you've put your heart and soul and cock
And
into
whole.
this, and whole. And I love it. It's a fantastic show. And 10 out of 10 think you should win the award.
Oh, I mean, you am. And
Yeah.
I think you should win all the awards, even though you didn't win my game. So treat yourself.
I'm just a dumb bitch. It's okay.
Treat yourself to some of that pizza that like is so deep dishy.
Yes.
So some dick.
Some thick dick.
Some thick dick. THICC DICC. Thick dick. A man actually made that noise while he was coming inside me. He was like,
You're like,
I'm like,
fuck, God, ick.
I was like, I lost
Not the hot pocket sound.
Yeah, no, I had to close my eyes and fake it like a porn star. I was like,
You're
and like
"Yeah,
look
love
the other
it."
direction. Yeah, oh my god, yes, I love that noise so much. Yeah,
Puts the pillow over my ears.
honestly, like I was one of those like hands over my ears.
Yeah, you're like,
it's kind of like I couldn't like take the pleasure. I hated him so much. Why did he do that? Anyways, now he's gone. Thank God. Thank you for joining me.
of course.
As always, you are such a pleasure. You're such my wifey. And I
love
can't
you.
wait to see you. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you again soon.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you want to take into 2024? A new sexual resolution?
I think it's been a while since I've like really created some ambiance around sex. Like, I think it's been a while, and this is just how life and being in a long-term relationship can go. It's been a while since I've like lit some candles and like made a cocktail and like put on a sexy little outfit and like made a whole fucking night of it. And I feel like that should be on the table. It's just been a while since I've done something on the, I guess it's kind of on the romancy side, you know?
Yeah,
So
and
maybe-
as you should.
Yeah.
As you should. As you should. I actually literally lit a candle for the podcast just to get me into like this sort of
I like candles
silly,
all the time.
sexy.
I love
Oh
them,
my
but I feel like
God.
it's like need to create some ambiance, you know?
Yeah, I love a good scented candle. Oh
too.
my God. Those what do you call it? Those boy scents or something like that.
Mhm.
That's a good candle.
Yeah.
Or what's the one, the Yankee candles?
Those are
pretty good too.
classic.
Classic,
Yeah.
an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
You know?
My craft
Or-
store usually has like a 3 for $9 around this time
Yeah.
of year.
Yeah, or just everyone buy a candle from Etsy. Those candles
Yes.
are really bomb. Whatever
sure.
they are. Yeah.
I love a
And
candle.
yeah, so I hope for you, Em, that you do create the ambiance that you want together with the
Yeah.
tantra and the toys.
Yes.
I, however, will be more disgusting than last year,
Mhm.
as is my goal every
course.
year.
Of
I hope
course.
to be more of an asshole, which is
Yes.
really just me like enforcing my boundaries way more assertively,
Yes, which you should.
which I should. I told my therapist, I was like, why isn't he texting me? He's like, did it occur to you that maybe you're allowing this kind of behavior? I'm like, oh my God. Good
Damn.
point.
Good fucking point. Therapy's good.
I know, therapy. All right. Well, do you have anything to plug like a butt?
Of
for my audience?
course. Check out the Sexistentialist podcast, of course. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, fucking Amazon, iHeartRadio. I don't give a shit. It's there. At Sexistentialist Pod on Instagram. It's Existentialist with an S. Hopefully, Tim, you got me in the show notes. But for those of y'all who can't spell, that's honestly fair. I picked a shitty podcast name.
Now you're
But-
stuck with it.
I stuck with it, but it would be super helpful if folks, when they listen to the show, could follow and rate anywhere you listen to it. Honestly, like votes help the algorithm when people get podcast recommendations, so that's always a win for me. And follow my Instagram to track my bullshit. Yeah, post new episodes, and season 4 will have probably launched or is about to launch in January 2024 when this comes out. So super excited. Truly have something for everyone this season, and I'm sure Tim will make an appearance because Tim always does.
And just like gonorrhea, I love to come back.
So true. Tag yourself. I'm a chlamydia.
Chlamydiates rise.
Yes.
I'm calling all of the fans of the show my chlamydiates.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's your
well,
empire.
Chlamydiate Hive, my Chlamydiate Empire, my Chlamydiate Hive. Thank you so much to tuning in to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. 100 episodes in. Thank you so much for all of your
Yes.
support. And please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, because if you don't, you're being homophobic.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
hate
make
crime.
the rules. Yeah, it's a hate crime to not give me 5
Mhm.
stars.
Yep.
Okay? And thank you for listening to another episode. We'll see you at the next one. Do you want to send them off with a nice song? Do you have a song that you want me to jam out to?
Yeah.
Like a ballad?
A ballad? I was gonna do hit. Oh, okay. Every night I see you, I hear you, I feel you. That is how I know. Go on. Okay.
Put me in with the percussion on the squeaky toy.
I give the squeaky toy back to my dog.
Oh boo! Hold on. Just be like meh.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your support. You dirty little